love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just give it up, don't stop. Back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just give it up, don't stop.
This video is brought to you by the 9% and powered by Petty Vision Productions. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Lego! I ain't here to wake nobody up. I'm here to unplug you.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. God loves.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title, we're gonna talk about it. But first, let me get into the chat. Liz B in the building. What up, sis? Appreciate you. Keymosh, what up, sis? Appreciate you, sis. What up, Nine, the General, the Minister of Defense, the one and only Commander. What up, Nine? Appreciate you. Hey, my bad, man. And this conversation we were supposed to do a couple days ago. You know, shout out to brother Gary, man, my 33 brother, my 9 at heart, bruh. That was a dope live you did about depression. It's a long story behind it. My wife took my phone. I was having, some health issues, and I don't like going to the hospital, so I'm not like, oh no, I'm straight. She was like, well, you go relax. No, nothing. Usually she forced me to come on YouTube, but she didn't even let me have my phone. I was typing in Gary chat, and she took my phone from me. So yeah, I was on punishment. But yeah, definitely go check that out, man. Definitely go check out Gary. I gotta go back and share it. I don't even believe I have the opportunity to share it. But yeah, definitely check that out. That was a dope live. He was talking about depression. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? I think these conversations need to be had often because mental issues, we kind of do. We don't focus on mental health, but we focus on the behavior and the personality. But yeah, talking about mental health because that's about life, right? If you ain't, if if it doesn't affect you directly, it affects you indirectly by people you love and care. It can be a spouse, it can be a mother, father, it can be a child, it can be a friend, it can be a brother, sister. If it's not you, definitely someone around you is going through this. Nate the Great is in the building. What up, bro? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Nate did a good. Nate talked about it too. I was in his chat in the bushes. Nate had a good dialogue about mental health too. Um, yeah, I don't know if Gary will be able to come on tonight. I didn't wasn't communicating. I was still getting myself together, but yeah, this is definitely. And then also I want to talk about the roads we pave. Right? It can correlate, but not for everybody. Because sometimes we create our own problems. Right? In life, we create our own problems, and like I said, sometimes if we having mental health issues and we're not getting help, um, we can create additional problems because a lot of our mental health don't only affect our minds but affect our emotions, right? And culture evasion, what up though? Appreciate you, Bronze, my brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to the chat, man. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm gonna try to, like I said, I didn't even wake up until I think I went to sleep at like 4 o'clock, that like 3, 4 o'clock, and I ain't wake up till like 12 that night. So yeah, that's why I didn't pop on last night. But we good. We back. We bounce. Rubber band. Rubber band. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. So I want to start off like this. Like I said, this no one is exempt from dealing with mental health. And it's not because let's just be honest, right? It is no one size fit all when it comes to issues like this. That's just the reality. We can sit here and try to say stuff to make people feel better, but that's just the reality because every situation and every circumstance is different. Some people it's easy to say go get help, but some people don't know how. Some people don't have the resources. Some people it's not around them and they have no way to get to it. They unfamiliar with it. You say, well, do this, do that. You have to be in a person's shoes to understand a person's walk, right? You literally, if somebody is walking in a size 12 shoe, their stride is going to be a bit bigger than someone walking in a size 5 shoe. Like that's just something that we can vision, right? So imagine those shoe sizes as resources, right? Someone may be in an area or have people in their family or have a coworker or have someone, even if it ain't someone right there next to them, but they do have someone to help them, to show them, to lead them, to guide them, you know, just to be a shoulder to cry. Some people don't have nothing. So to say, go get help is easy. It's not, so it is, we shouldn't, because at times, like when I was on Sugarloaf channel, right? I just got to give you an example. I was on Sugarloaf channel, right? And if you never sat in a room with women who have been abused and you heard these women's story from their perspective, it's very easy of you to say, if someone do that to you, go get help. It's very easy for you to say that. But until you in that position, or until you sit in a chair with an empathetic heart and ear and listen to these women, don't say that shit, man. That shit ignorant. I'm just being real, and this is from experience, and this is from observation. When someone get abused, it's so many different circumstances, so many different situations. You know, it's easy to say do this, do that, but it's not. That's just not reality. That's just not reality. And the same thing with these mental health. I mean, you could have been depressed before, but my depression may be different from Nate's. Nate's depression may be different from Bron. Bron's depression may be different from Culture. I can say, hey, Nate, I did this and this worked for me. Nate can try it and it don't work for him. That's just reality. Right? So we can't agree on some things though. Because even though a person doesn't have the resource, like we first got to have that conversation. There's not enough resources for mental health. It's not talked about enough where people feel comfortable to go. More people feel comfortable to go get help for STD than to go get help for mental health. And I'm not even trying to, make a joke. A person will go to the hospital unapologetically for STD. But if they're having mental health issues, they won't go to a hospital and ask for help. They won't do that. And that's from experience and observation. I done seen people come twice in the same week to the hospital to get checked for STD. Twice in the same week. No shame at all. But to go see a psychologist because you done been through some shit in life, right? We done been through some shit. It's just reality. We all go through some shit, but some of us been through some shit. Look, we need to talk. We need to, it's some healing we got to do. We got to make that okay. We need to make that conversation okay. Look, we been through some shit, right? We got some healing to do. So the next generation won't have to heal from the pain, from our pain. They won't have to bear the fruit. We can give them some good fruit. Won't have to pass that pain down. Because we see what was done wrong in the past. Going to get help. We didn't do that too often. It was taboo. We didn't want to seem crazy. Look, we all crazy. If you ain't crazy, stay the hell away from me. If you ain't got some craziness in you, please stay away from me. Because that's normal. Because if you ain't got it now, you ain't gonna know what to do with it later. Because you go get crazy. If you ain't go through nothing yet in life, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. You ain't gonna know how to take it later. I've been going through shit since I've been walking. But that's life, right? So yeah, and it's different ways, therapy is just one, right? Therapy is one. Sometimes support groups, family, friends, counselors, religion, spiritual, different things go work for different people. Like I said, it's not a one size fit all. That I don't know. I don't like when I be listening to things. Everybody want to be the end all be all to something, right? And that's okay. That's just their way, right? That's how I look at it. But like I said, I came to tell you right because they've been telling you left. And the more you think narrow-minded, the more your results. That's just pure observation. Sometimes you got to try things to figure out what works for you. So to try different things, you can't be scared. It's got to go in head first. That's not easy to do, but that's a place we want to get to, right? Especially talking about our mental health. Let me tell you something about mental health. If you think ain't nothing wrong with you, there's something wrong with you. I was told that by a psychologist. She said, this is the thing about mental health. If you think ain't nothing wrong with you, like you fine, then there's something wrong with you. This is something a psychologist got a psychologist. You see, when the people who help you need help, people who help you need help. Like we may think, like think about this, right? I was told this when I was doing real when I first got in real estate. I went to Keller Williams. You know that Keller Williams is like globally. They got Keller Williams in Japan, right? Real estate, American real estate company in Japan. But my broker, like the broker of the franchise I was in, because he owned 3 different ones. But he just finished paying off a jet, right? And he invited me to come, come to the jet. So we sitting in the jet. He's like, "You want to sit in the cockpit?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we go sit in there. I'm sitting in. I ain't fly or nothing, but I'm like, I'm sitting in a jet. Like this is a private jet, right? And this dude younger than me. Dude was younger than me, man. Dude was 26, right? At the time, he was 26. But he said, "You know what I learned since I've been doing real estate?" He said, "I had problems when I was broke, and now I got problems that I'm rich." He said, "When I was broke, I was trying to find out how to make more money, so I wouldn't, so I can live good." And he said, "Now that I'm rich, I'm trying to find out how to make more money, so I don't be broke again." And he said, "I got rich problems now," and he said, "I would probably rather have the poor problems." And I just understood that, like the pressure, right? When you broke, there's no real pressure to get rich. We have that desire. Some of us achieve it, but it's really no real pressure. But when you rich, it's pressure to stay rich, to maintain that lifestyle. Is just a Didi, 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 Didi. What up, Didi? Oh, Nate, we are in, bro. You are a nut with them shorts. But so they just got different problems. Are they better? Look, poor problems don't make you jump off buildings. That's all I'm saying. Poor problems don't have you jumping off buildings, and I'm trying to be funny, but you ain't see too many poor people jumping off buildings and bridges and stuff like that. Some different type of problems. So, I don't judge who problems worse, and it don't matter in the grand scheme of things, right? But yeah, they got mental health issues too. Money don't take away, problem. Really don't. We like to think that because, like, when we broke, a lot of our problems is we don't have money. And when you're rich, your problem is trying to keep money. I don't know. I mean, like I said, even in that, it's easy to say, I'd rather have rich problems, but like I said, the pro problems I had, I'd be like, damn, man, it's gonna be rough. I'm gonna have to stick it out. They'd be like, damn, man, I'm about to jump. Like, man, I'm straight on those, bro. I'm just being real. That's a bad joke during this conversation. Apologies. That's just reality. That's just the way my brain works. Um, I'm straight with give me the, yeah. Anyway, let me change the subject before I get myself in trouble. Gary, what up, man? I'm trying, bro. I don't know what just happened. I was just telling a story about rich problems and pro problems, and but anyway. So, but yeah, it's different outlets, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try. But everyone, and do understand that everyone has their own journey, right? When people going through stuff, let's try to get to a point where we don't tell them how they should go through it. If we can't, just give them some advice and help them if they need assistance, then let's not bother them, right? Because, like I said, you sitting in these rooms listening to, like, why a lot of people, like especially SA, like women who get SA, a lot of times they don't like coming out because of just the same things what people be saying. Why did you wait so long? Why did you do this? Why did you understand? There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. You don't know their circumstance. You don't know their situation. I know people, like, when people say, speak up and speak out when it happened, because I'm gonna tell you that I personally know people who lost their lives because they spoke up on different things. Not SA. Actually, none of them SA. But she had a hell of a time. It actually happened to her twice by the people who were supposed to be helping her when she spoke up. It was people who were supposed to help her and then did it to her. So, but I know somebody who lost their life because they spoke up. They seen something, and they was trying to do the right thing and spoke up. And not only did that person lose their life, but it was some family members that lost their life for the people just trying to get to him. Like, that's why I said people's circumstances and stuff is different. Nothing is just like, is nothing just one paint roll go over, one coat and it's finished. That's not how life is. It takes many different strokes. Each stroke is gonna be different. We all individually have our own fingerprint, right? No fingerprint is the same. So no experience attached to that fingerprint is gonna be the same. Even if we go through the same thing, it's gonna affect us different. Our circumstances may be different, so we may perceive the incident different. So many different things going on at one time. People fail to realize, right? So, yeah, mental health. What up, though, Northwest? Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. I don't know what you want me to call you, bro. I know I ain't gonna call you the H word no more, but yeah, shout out to Northwest, man. If y'all don't mind, can y'all drop that brother link in the chat? Definitely check bro out. Um, but yeah, so everything is different. Every circumstance is different. So with mental health, it's gonna be different. So one of the things you can do, um, if you want to help people with mental health, is just listen with an open ear. A lot of times, people that can really begin the process. Listen with an open ear, no judgment. You know, no advice. Just listen to people. Sometimes people, to begin their process of healing, they have to say what's bothering them out loud. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying if you, that's a beginning. That's something that we can try. You know, we look for solutions, and you as yourself. And it's hard, like when you going through it, but be open to speak with someone who will just listen. A lot of times, that's why support groups are wonderful. Support groups, because you can go there and it's people who having similar issues. So a lot of time is no. I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of time there's no judgment, and that can spark it. That can motivate you to go get therapy. Motivate you to get deeper into something that will help you with your healing process. But I promise you, saying what's bothering you out loud, a lot of times that begin the process, because it's like, okay, it's off my chest, it's out there. That's what we need to work on. This is work for me personally, um, and people in different groups. I've been either in the group as a person in the group, or I help lead a group. I got mentors, so I got five of them, five mentors, and a lot of them. We hold group sessions where we, go around and speak freely, openly. You don't know how good that feels when you can speak without fear of judgment. That's it's like, um, I don't even know what to say. I like how to explain it. Like, it's like I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, but it's like, yeah, like if you had wings and just open them and just soaring freely. It's releasing. And a lot of times, because of our lives, it's hard to do that because even some of the closest people we're around, we can't do that with. Some of the people we love, because they're gonna judge you because they did it, they do it. It's hard. Like me, that's why um, I try my best to always, because I know how it was for me to have someone to be able to do that. You know, so I try to be that. I try to be that. That's why I listen. That's why I listen. Um I got one client now. I had two who just they just called me and just like a 30-minute rant just to get it off their chest. And that's it. There's no feedback, nothing. They just want to talk. They just want to get it off. But that's one of the services I provide because I understand how important it is. I understand how important it is. So, Miss T, what up, though, sis? Appreciate you. Hold on. There you go. Oh. Also, if anybody want to hit the link is attached to the community post that I posted right before the show. So the last community post also has the link. If anybody wanted to come up and speak. But my brother, Mr. 33 himself, what up, man? You all right, brother?
I'm tired. What up, though?
Chill, chill. I was just giving you a shout out. That was a dope show you was doing. My wife took my phone from me, so I didn't catch the last 15 minutes of it. But I had a little health issue yesterday. She was like, "You relaxing," so I wasn't allowed. I was on punishment. So, but that was a good show, bro.
First of all, that's not punishment. That ain't punishment at all, man. Good morning to the chat. But nah. Anytime you get into a situation like that, we need you physically here. Everything else can wait. Shout out to Mrs. Word.
Appreciate that, bro. Mentoring as well, yes, culture. But I'm gonna let you have the flow, brother.
Oh, me? Okay, cool. But yesterday was crazy in a whole, right? Because I was trying to do the live, but I was already conflicted. I was conflicted really because I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened yesterday, today, whatever. For those of you that don't know, or well, I know a couple of people know, but yesterday was my birthday, so I was just going to do a thing or two, pretty much. But I wanted to do the live, just because I know that this month itself is mental health month. So I just decided to, you know, for me, the most I don't want to say the most common, but 9 times out of 10, the person that the the mental health thing that hits us the most is depression, right? And we know for the most part that trauma, or I believe that trauma is one of the things, is the thing that causes depression. Whether you was a child or an adult, man or woman, it's something traumatic that makes you go down that path. So I just decided to tackle that thing first and foremost. And I
And
know that a lot of bad word.
happy birthday, man! Happy belated birthday, bro! I did not know, man. I was dazed yesterday. I woke up right when you started the live. I was asleep from like 3 the whole day. Yeah, I had a little episode. Um, yeah, but I'm good. But happy birthday, brother! Happy birthday, man!
Appreciate it.
Happy
Man.
solar rotation, man! That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yo,
Um,
it was crazy because when that like I wasn't even gonna say nothing about the birthday because I'm not one of those people that that likes to collect, all the birthday wishes and all that. Y'all, if y'all go on my channel, y'all see the video that I made this evening, and it'll explain what I did as far as the birthday or why I went about it that way. But even after I did the live, right? Shout out to Keymosh, because Keymosh, she started my birthday off with me, whether she understood it or not, you know. But even like just the fact that you can have somebody to reach out to, branch out to, things of that nature, I think that helps a lot when it comes to the mental health statuses, whatever they are, right? But I'm just going to talk about the one that I did, which was depression. Because, like I said, for me, losing my mother made me depressed, right? I'm a teenager and I'm going through situations, and then all of a sudden, my mom is gone. So I'm looking at things like, how am I supposed to do this? What people don't understand is that, when you lose a parent at that age, especially if she's a single parent, you got to fend for yourself. You might got older brothers, aunts, sisters, whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to fend for yourself. You got to figure these things out. So you trying to figure out what's the next step, but then you got people in your corner that's supporting you. But at the same time, you running around like a chick with his head cut off. You think you're doing the right thing, but every time you do the right thing, you pull away from it. You start doing the wrong things. It's a lot. You ain't listening to people because you're doing the wrong thing. They telling you stay in school and make sure your family's okay, and you ain't trying to do none of that. You going for yourself. So depression will make you definitely do things that you ain't supposed to do. It'll make you take an angle that you know good and well you ain't supposed to be on. But at that time, that wrong decision just feels right. And it may sound crazy to a lot of people, but trust me, when that wrong decision feel comfortable, you ain't trying to move from that comfort.
See, that's what people don't understand. Because like even when you say trauma, a lot of people sum up trauma to something physical, and it's not. It's mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I couldn't imagine, because I still have both my parents at my age. So I hate when people say I understand or I feel you, even if you go through the same thing, because maybe your relationship was different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many. That's what I talk about, the circumstances. But listening to you, people understand his story, right? Because his story can be similar to someone else's story, and now you got a different perspective. We see these young men and say, "Oh, they wild." We don't know what they're going through. We just seeing the result of what they're going through. That's why I don't judge them, bro. Because I had a stepfather and I had a mother. So on the outside looking in, that's what people see. But I was going through hell, bro. Imagine, my head was so fucked up growing up, bro. I didn't realize it until I got older, because I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother raised me till I was 9. And then my mother brought me to Detroit. But I didn't know I was staying. I thought I was coming to visit. I was so used to going on trips with my mom, and that wasn't the first time I came up here. So I'm thinking like we'll go on a trip and come back, and I ain't go back for 2 years. So now I'm living with my mom. I don't really know her like that. I know her, I love her, I've been around her. I used to go visit and stay the night and stuff, but I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother had my mom went to college. My grandmother took care of me. So now I'm in the city and I'm around a bunch of gangsters, bro. I don't know nothing about. My first day here, I got punched in the mouth. So when I was younger, I tried to off myself twice because I wanted to go home. I live depressed, and people on the outside looking in like, bro, you got everything. Your mom a nurse. Y'all live in a nice house. This. They don't know what I was going through. Identity crisis, bro. I didn't know what I was, who I was. I know what I was brought up to be. You know, my grandmother instilled all these morals and values in me, but now I'm in the D, and my stepdad, him and his friend, they in the street. So everything that I was taught, I'm going against, and I don't understand what's going. I'm a kid, you know. So, um, I don't judge, and like you said, you think you're doing the wrong, bro. When you said that, that hit me so hard. It's like sometimes doing the wrong thing, it feels good, but it feels good while you're doing it, but after the fact, you look back like, man, I shouldn't have did that, and then you feel depressed again. That man, I didn't value myself. I didn't know myself to value myself. I was influenced by so many different things, and I was just looking for the way to go. And I had people around me, so I couldn't imagine like your circumstance is totally different, you know. But I can't even imagine. But depression, a lot of these young men in the street doing all this wild, crazy stuff we talk about, you know, condemn them for. We don't know what they're going through, bro.
Yeah, the streets. Whew, the streets are something else. I'm just
Hmm.
saying, it's crazy about that, right? Because especially right, if you ain't got no dad, right? There's no father figure. There's no father figure in the household, right? I basically grew up. My mom, my grandmother, her daughters, which is my aunts. That's it. So once that anchor, your mom is gone. Your dad is you got a dad, but he don't exist. I mean, he exists, but he ain't around you. So the first thing you gonna do is like, yo, what role model do I have as a man going forward? You turn around and look. You see that man on the block. That man on the block take interest in you. Start talking to you, come over, hang out with you, this, that, and the third. You're like, okay, that's big bro. What up, big bro? That big bro out there all day. He dipping at night. You staying out at night. Now you into the streets all of a sudden. All because you missing that. You still in that depression mode. And now you found a big brother that's in the streets. Now you get accustomed to the streets. And for those of y'all that was in the street, fellas, if I'm lying, I'm flying. The rest is history. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
we just have to do better as a whole. That's why me personally, I always say, I don't care if I'm the last person in the world. If you feel that bad about something, try to reach out to me. I'm here for you. I don't care if it's just like on this live, on this app, or whatever. I'm available. We'll figure out the way to contact one another. But I'm here now. So even if we're just talking in the chat, there's been reasons why I prayed in the chat, things like that. Because I feel like somebody needs that uh, that hug, that virtual hug, or whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. Say, yo, that's a good dude. This is not an act for me. This is how I really feel in life as a whole. So it, I definitely understand anybody that was going through that. The crazy thing about it, I think Miss Tracy was saying that she was going through this when we spoke about this briefly a couple of lives ago, me and you. And I was like, that's crazy. She's like, nah, I'll go through this, but I try to find my way back. Now, ain't no disrespect to her, but if she's going through that now, just imagine how long she's been fighting that battle. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's crazy, and I know it's more of us that has to go through that. But if we're trying to have a tribe, I call it a community. Word calls it a tribe. But if we're having that, or we're trying to make that, we want everybody to feel comfortable in themselves to say, you know what? this is my story. I don't know who else to have this conversation with, but understand that we're trying to be better and not
Yeah.
make anybody worse.
And that's the intention over here. And it's, it's not easy, but it's necessary. That's just how I look at it, because there's a bunch of people coming together, and there's a bunch of things happening at once. So it's not easy, but it's necessary. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to make things better, not worse. Um, and having Brother Gary over here, having me, like I said, we will be the example, because like he said, this ain't no act for me. Like I said, I can only be what I'm allowed to be. I always been truthful with that. And what I'm here for is to help, is to build and to create. Anything other than that, I do my best to avoid it. But that's just the temperature over here. Like he said, we try community building. We gonna be the example. In these conversations, not only the conversations, but the examples that we set. And we want people to feel comfortable. But to do that, we have to understand the foundation of everything has to be respect. That's the only way people will feel comfortable. I mean, just observe it for yourself. Where do you feel most comfortable at? Around people who respect you. Observe that yourself. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But usually when you have that foundation, people will feel comfortable opening up because they know no matter what they say, they're gonna be respected. So, but like some people say you earn respect. Some people say you give it to earn it. This is all I'm saying. Like that as a foundational piece is priceless. Um, but yeah, that kind of go into the slash the roads we pave, right? Because like even talking about depression, when you depressed, for me, I'm gonna speak for myself. I noticed that in the times I was depressed, my decision making was wrong. My decision making was off. If it was logically or emotionally, when you're depressed, you're usually unbalanced. And it can be from either one. It can be emotionally imbalanced or you can be mentally imbalanced. You ain't thinking straight or you ain't feeling right. So I noticed with that. And then, you can't, when you do stuff, right? The person you victimize, they don't care how you was feeling. You just victimized. I had to come to that understanding, right? So me being depressed wasn't a good enough excuse for some of the decisions I made when I was depressed. And I had to eat that, and I had to realize, and that's one of the things that I guess sparked me to get or to. I tried to go to therapist, it didn't work. For me, it was just learning who I was. I did that through religion and spirituality, but that's what helped me understand, who I was. That's a different path. It's a hell of a path. I don't tell people that's the path to take, but I do tell them, seek help. You know, but the decisions I made, it paved the road, and that road I had to walk. So we need to understand that too. The things we do have consequences and repercussions. Uh, so we have to be, and this is part of the mental health, but this is just in general speaking. Like we talked about portals. Things we do open us up to the experience. Now I'm using this concept. The things we do lay bricks that we have to follow. Our actions are like paver bricks, and it will determine which direction we go in. So we have to be careful where we paving roads at.
Mm. I'm sorry you feel that way, Miss T. I really do. Because at the end of
Yeah,
the day, that depressive state will make you isolated. It'll make you feel like you're on an island all by yourself, right? So hopefully you could find, trust. I always say trust is like a marriage. You only need to get it right one time. And once you get it right that one time, you'll begin to lean on that person that you trust, and it'll help you lighten your shoulders because you are on your way to get out of that depressive state. Like for me, it was my uncle, actually, my uncle who just passed away like a couple of weeks ago, and that was my aunt's husband. They got married, and right around the time I was going through the situation with my mom, I would always go to my aunt's every weekend. And, even if we'll have a nice walk and talking session, the fact that he took me in allowed me to feel comfortable enough to, just to share a problem. Like, Uncle, I don't know how to do this. My brother's going through A, B, and C. I don't know no better. I'm 14. He's like, listen, sometimes you gotta stand on the foundation that you walking on. And if you're gonna be there for your family, be there for your family. Just like I'm being here for my family. And my family got stepkids and everything in it. And I was like, yo, that's real. And I looked at him totally different. But the fact that I looked at him in a way the way I could trust him is the way that allowed me to just put a little crack in that depression wall. And it was chiseling every time I would go over there. So now I'm going to see them more than just a weekend, every holiday and every week off of school and all of these things, all because he allowed me to express myself in a way to where I'm not crying. For most men, we don't cry, but it's just a cry for help that's being received, if that makes any sense to anybody.
made sense to me. And Miss T, I was a couple months ago. I used to say I don't trust. I have faith in people, but after evaluating my own personal life, right, I decided to trust people. But the way I came up with it, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Treat trust like a degree. You know, that's how I do it now. I treat trust like a degree. Some people can graduate and get masters and doctor's degree. Some people only make, associate, maybe even bachelor's, but um, let people earn it. You have to go to school, you have to earn a degree. Like Amanda said, I'm not giving something that's so precious to me away to just anybody. So I understand how I feel about trust, right? So I understand how um, I don't even look to obtain it from anyone. I just be myself. And if they feel or deem me trustworthy, I just know when I'm dealing with people, I'm not going to deal with anyone who I have malice intent for. I'm just not, because that slows my production down. Why even deal with this person if I have bad intentions for them? If I deal with you, that means I want to see the best for you. I'm not gonna deal with you with no malice intent. So I just let my actions, um, speak for themselves. That's all I can do. As far as like trust. So I look at the same. People who telling me to trust them, I never do. I don't know why, bro. That shit just trust. Like, come on, man, don't do that. Don't try to like. I'm not saying people because it's like so cliche to say. I'm not saying people who use it as a cliche. I'm talking about when somebody trying to force some trust on you, like they trying to force you to trust them. Like, nah, bro, that's weird. That's something that should be built up. That's nothing you just give away. I don't believe you should ever give any emotion away. Let people earn things, and then they value them more. Think about when you was a kid, when you just got something just to get it. I didn't take care of it, but when I had to earn something, oh, I took care of it. When I had to buy my own shoes, oh, I cleaned the soles every day. But when they was just buying them for me, when I was outside playing them, I'm gonna get some more. That's how people are. So let them earn it, and then they appreciate it more.
hmm And for me, you know, anybody, I'll say this, anybody that has spoken to me off this, off of YouTube, I always tell them, if I'm helping, that's what I want to do. If I'm hurting, I will fall back. So anybody that talks to me
Mhm.
offline, they have the decision to say, okay, well, he's keeping his word. If I say I'm just trying to be your friend, I'm not trying, especially for females, I ain't trying to holler at you. For the fellas, for guys, it's always harder
Yeah,
to allow another man in. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's our psyche. Maybe it's our ego. Whatever it is. But it's always easier for a woman to this. I don't even want to sound sexist, but it always seems like for me, a woman always could could trust me because I'll sit down and listen, and then I'll ask them a question so they can answer their own question. So they can't say, well, he questioned whatever I know. I asked you a question, so you answered it. So it's your answer that you're gonna follow. I'm not here to judge you at all. I'm just here to allow you to have a conversation so you can be able to talk to somebody on a neutral term. So, for me, it's different. You know what I mean? I'll talk to anybody, but it always seems like I talk to
women.
women more than I talk to men about that.
You know what, bro? I was telling, me and Tay was having a conversation, and it's like, a lot of times, like you said, ego with guys is I think it's the personalities too. Ego is part of the personality, but I don't want to sum it up to the nature of men, but it's like you can't, for some reason, two masculine dominant forces have trouble existing in the same space. And I think that's bullshit because you have two masculine dominant forces, they can get a lot of shit done together. That's how I look at it. But you got to have that mindset. But I run into the same issue. Is more women who are more open because, especially, I think it's to our demeanor. Because me and you are very similar, bro. Like we laid back. It's not. I use the term passive because that can be generally understood, but it's not really passiveness. It's just like, man, I'd rather do some positive shit than to deal with some bullshit. So I'm not here to argue with nobody or nothing like that. I'd rather just avoid that shit so I can I got business. As a man, I gotta handle business. That's how I look at it. Anything that
Mhm.
distract me from that is a distraction. Is my responsibility to not be distracted. The more I'm distracted, the less I can get done. And I can honestly say I fell in that. I fell into that um, these last couple months, but that's just life, Um, and it's understanding how to get back up and overcome it, and that's the process I'm going through now. But it's just understanding, not falling deeper and deeper because I could have sunk down into it. I could have, I could have, but I didn't. And that's all by design, by choice. You know, um, it's just being mature and responsible. Like as a man, it's like it's so many times I gotta hold my tongue. So many times I gotta swallow my pride as a man. Because a boy would pop off, but a man will do what's necessary.
I agree with that. It's just the simple fact that, as you said, the Bible says, when I was a child, I do childish things, but when I'm a man, I put away those childish things, right? So most of us we're always trying to prove ourselves, especially when we're around a bunch of men. I don't feel I have to prove myself to nobody. I've come to the maturity of I ain't gotta prove myself to nobody.
Hmm.
That's why I can always say my content is my character. So if I'm up here speaking what I'm speaking, I have to allow that to be seen and heard when I'm not talking. So if I'm up here saying I want to help, I gotta throw my hand out there. I feel like all states sometimes I put my hands out there. If somebody grabs it, they grab it. But I understand if you grab it, I need you to feel like you're in good hands. So it's up to the individual that receives it because anybody could just come and leech off of you and drain you out because a lot of people are going to do that, but it's up to the individual to say, you know what, I helped you enough, somebody else need my help, I'll be back, and let me go on out there and try to help somebody else. But that's the discernment that you guys always talk about, discernment. You got to understand that, hey, I think you're in good hands, so I can leave you here, I'll be back, but I know somebody else down the street may need me more. And you go on about that business and do it. So it's a lot to do that. It takes a lot to do that. We joke around and greet each other as 33 brothers. Shout out to Tay for giving us that information, right? But at the end of the day, that's a Christ-like attribute. You got to
Yeah.
understand, like, hey, you fulfill this portion. That doesn't mean you don't. You have to leave them there and not circle back. Because if the energy is in a circular motion, you got to put that energy around everybody in the same motion. So you may have to circle back because you may say, you okay now, but by the time I get back, you may fall back into that same thing that I left you in. So, but it's always up to the individual if they want to receive your help or not.
Yeah, always up to the individual, bro. I just figured out because I keep looking in the chat and I see Nightbot, but I didn't see him drop a BDB link. Um, it was on every 23 minutes for some reason instead of every. Yeah, no, but I fixed that. But bro, and that's what I'm saying. Like people have to be, and that's why I really want people to take in consideration. Like, um, look at every case as an individual case because different people going through different circumstances, and people be on their own time, bro. You can't force nobody to open up or seek help when you want them to. For the help to work and for them to go through the process of healing, they got to be ready. So don't pressure nobody. I mean, we would be wanting to help, but I'm just speaking from personal. Like, I didn't do nothing until I was ready. No matter who said something, that none of that mattered. It was when I was ready. Sitting in different groups. That's the consistent. That's what was most consistent. Is people seeking help when you know, when they was ready, and that's something. When you're trying to help other people, you just gotta be patient with. You gotta um, be understanding.
Yeah, but it's all dependent on effort, right? I always I did a live not too long ago saying that your consistency, your inconsistent. If your inconsistency is your consistence, then you won't be able to move nowhere. But if it's the opposite, you can build a role and then be able to mark it and find your way through a situation. So it's all dependent on that, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, I'm gonna use let's just say bronze hits me in the background, right? Like, yo, I'm gonna holler at you this, and this, and we had a conversation. Now I'm gonna act like I don't know nothing when I'm up in this. If I ever, if I'm on his chat or whatever the case may be, and I'll allow him to speak, and then If he say something, I'll hit him in the background like, "Hey, you was consistent with what you was talking about. You on the right road or whatever." That'll allow him to feel comfortable. Like, yo, I appreciate you keeping that on the hush, and
Right.
then he'll open up and have more of a conversation. For a dude, is always hard. I don't know. I don't know if it's women intuition, but they can just sense. All right, I can go ahead and talk to him because he's such a great listener, or whatever it is. It's just different. But we got what you would say, emotional understanding and balance. That's
Yeah,
what we have
emotional
to have.
intelligence.
Yeah, we would have to have that in order to sit down side by side to have that conversation. Whether it's Bronze or Nate or whoever's in the, like, whatever male is in the chat. Our goal is to make you feel comfortable enough just to sit down and have that conversation. It doesn't make you a punk. It doesn't make you a simp. It just makes you a person that has a problem that want that to get it off their chest. It don't make you nothing else but that. But because the way society is, they want every man to hold that in, and a lot of us ain't built to hold that in the first place, which leads us to depression.
Let me hit you with something, bro. Right. I was on shout out to Sugar Love. Shout out to the Sook. I was on her panel one day and we was talking and this was the when the Cassie um lawsuit came out. So this is months ago. This was before we seen the video and all that. And it was a guy on there talking about abuse victims. And he was saying, people just got to come out. Like, and I'm listening to the conversation back and forth. And everyone got good points. Everyone got points, right? Everyone got an opinion. And I'm like, me. It's like my whole thing is like, okay, I hear the problem. I hear it. You know, uh, you have us saying, because I was included, saying that it ain't that easy for people to come out and speak out, not only about SA, but even their mental problems, right? And the guy was saying, well, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. Yeah, you got scenarios where it worked, but it's scenarios that it didn't work. So what's the solution? And looking at it from a whole, like talking to you, understanding what I went through, um, like even when we said just having someone to listen, my solution to that was create a safe space, create the environment where people feel comfortable to come and open up. I don't see that. We have things that we're supposed to have them. We think of like therapists and stuff like that, but we look at them as like doctors. No, we need that in our communities. We need that in our family. We need to let people know it's safe to come here and open up, no matter what it is you're going through. And that's my idea for the nine, creating that environment where they can go talk to a nine, where we have the capabilities where people can reach out and have that safe space. If they need help and we can direct them and we can assist them, that's down the road, but that's the solution. We don't have that. And I think if that's available, I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but that'd be a hell of a start.
And even when you say that, right? It's just like I always say, people make this app because this app that has a bad reputation. It got so many people with the beef sectors and all of that. I'm not trying to say we're carving a lane over here, but there are people that really could sit down and say, you know what, I can trust you because you haven't said a negative thing about somebody yet. And I value that because I'm not trying to do that in the first place.
Right.
I am I'm just trying to help and not hurt.
Right. If I can't help you, I ain't about to hurt you neither. I live by that, bro. I literally live by I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. If I can't help, I'm definitely not about to hurt.
And that's the thing. If like I tell people, if I'm hurting you, I'll fall back. And it's not nothing against you. It's just the fact that I feel like I'm not helping you. So I'll fall back until you feel comfortable that I'm helping you. I won't, I'll check on you still or whatever the case may be. Because I do that with family, friends, whoever. I hope all's well with you. Hey, I'm just checking in. I hope you guys are doing okay over there. You know what I mean? Things like that. Just so you can say, well, he's not fishing for information. I'm I'm not fishing for that. I guess I'm a fisher of men in a sort of way. The fisher of men being that I want you to feel comfortable and know that somebody actually does think about you in a capacity of you being a human being and you have somebody to reach out to. But it does get tiring though. Let's not make no mistakes about that because all of that things that you doing sometimes when you burn out, you need that. Hey, I was just checking on you. Word, what up? How you? And you could fake it, but the fact that somebody checked on you, it's like a breath of fresh air because you so willing to do so much for others. Sometimes it's good to say, hey, I appreciate you, man, or I appreciate you, girl, or woman, or young lady, just because you just said hi. And just because you said, hey, I ain't seen you in a couple of days, everything good? That's a breath of fresh air for people like that. All because you got to check on your strongest people because sometimes your strongest people get weak too. And even that strongest person can feel like, yo, I'm not helping nobody. I'm about to fall back. And that may depress them. Depression is a serious situation, whether we understand it or not. It's really real. And it stays on a lot of people's mind for a very long period of time. So yeah, it's just a reality check for a lot of us. And I think I'm gonna do a little bit more digging as far as the other ones because I know it's four. I know it's depression, anxiety. Uh, uh, uh. They say bipolar, and then the other one, the dementia slash Alzheimer's. Those are all mental illnesses. Those are the ones that. Those are the top four that I know for sure affect us as a people as a whole. And I don't want nobody to believe that they have to be medicated. The medication could just be you reaching out to a person, having a conversation, making them feel like a person, calming them down, and allowing them to see that, hey, my thinking is a little bit off and things like that. That's the best medication for somebody because a lot of the times we know medication costs money. And the fact that you can do that for free is always a blessing. Yeah, so anybody that, you know, whether you listening now or you catch the replay, I'm always going to offer myself to people. I'm always going to do that. We just going to have, like I said earlier, we'll just have to figure out a way to do it in the background. I'm not here to embarrass anybody. I'm not here to do anything like that. But if anybody's ever spoken to me before off this thing, you can verify or you can disprove what I'm saying is correct. It's up to you. So, you know, whatever we have to do to help whatever I have to do to help. It's always been my goal. That's what got me up here in the first place. It got me up here because I heard all the nonsense, and I'm like, well, who's going to sit there and help that person, or who's going to sit there and have a conversation or pray with that person, right? Who's going to try to give them a peace of mind? And with depression, you don't have the only peace of mind you have in depression is the fact that you ain't trying to get away from it sometimes, and that's scary alone. But as long as you got somebody trying to throw you a lifeline, a hook, or whatever to help you pull yourself up out of it, you got to believe that there's no ulterior motive, but for you to come up out of that situation, for you to find peace, for you to find joy. Because I promise you, in a depressive state, the joy ain't what it's supposed to be. The peace ain't never what it's supposed to be. Because you may have PIECE instead of PEAC. And anybody that has been in that state understands what I just said. So, that's just me, extending myself, offering myself to whoever needs it, right? Not to be, holier than thou or whatever, but just to understand that I just want you to have what you didn't have if you're searching for it. And that's somebody to be able to be open and honest. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. The fact that that's on the table, I hope you look at it and try it. That's the best that I can do. Thank you, Ms. T. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, all I can do is be who I'm supposed to be. All I can be is the person, that wants the best. If you want the best for somebody, you're going to try to do the best. It doesn't mean that you always going to agree with a situation. There will be disagreements. But the fact that you're trying to resolve that disagreement, it shows who you're trying to be. It shows that you want to better a situation, because a lot of people will leave a disagreement and leave it where it's at. But as long as you're trying to do the best, you try to make the best out of that situation, your goal would always be to dissolve that situation. And so in a depressive state, you will you will think it's cool to just leave it there, and it's not. So, you know, like I said, I just try to do the best that I can for whoever wants it. And that's all we can do. That's all we can display. So, I mean, that's just
That's
it.
that's the part I had to come to grips with. Just lay it down, and if people pick it up, then fine. If they don't, then keep it moving. Because it kills me, bro. Watching people go through stuff. Some people
Yeah.
don't even know where to begin to. My bad.
No, I was going to say, yeah, because at the end of the day, if we want others to do that for us, we have to show that we'll be able to do it for them. It's not
Mhm.
it's not just a receiving thing, right? I understand when the Bible says it's better to give than receive, because if you give your services, you may receive that service in abundance, right? So the fact that you give somebody grace, you may receive grace times five times 100, whatever it is. And at the time that you need it, you like, yo, I definitely needed that spot. I needed that situation. I needed that grace. And a lot of people don't really understand that concept, because we have been individualized so much that we just think about I. And then we already know there's no I in team. So we got to get out of that I mentality and say, how can we help, instead of how can I help the world type scenario. You know what I mean? Every little step does count, but your I will turn into a team, whether we understand it or not. So you just do what you got to do.
Bro, hmm, that's deep, because it's I like when you said, I was just telling my wife that earlier, about karma. You know, when we say karma, we always think of the bad stuff, but no, karma is energy. That's all it is. So is what is your intention behind the energy. So when you give, you get more in return. Just like when you give out negative stuff, you get it back tenfold, but also the good stuff. And that's part of karma. You know, it's just the energy. It's not good or bad, but we mostly associate it to bad. But we can use karma as a positive thing, and that's exactly what you. Well, that's how I received what you said. You know, you give a little grace and you get it back fivefold. You know, that's the karmatic cycle. You know, what you give, you get. So definitely, that's why I try to put. I try. You know, that's why I see things in people, and I appreciate it, and that's why I'm always this that. It's not, you know, I'm trying to fluff anyone. It's just, you know, I see it and I enjoy it. You know, the people come to support. This is big because they don't have to. You know, no one has to come through here support. You know, rock out in the chat. You know, but they do. You know, no one has to watch the replay, but they do. You know, people, and you know, people didn't watch the whole show because it's timestamps all in your comments, and that's humbling, bro. You know what I'm saying? No one has to do that. So yeah,
But see, that's
when I see,
that's
I mean,
go ahead, go
oh
ahead.
no, my bad. I was just saying that makes me want to produce better content. You know, that's the energy it's giving me. You know, like in these, like, man, we can come on here and talk about anything, but I try to talk about things that's helpful and useful. And when people receive it, that makes me want to do it even more. You know, because I know it's helping and it's being useful. So it's like, okay, here goes some more, here goes some more. So that's motivating. So um, when people do that, you know, it's humbling to me and it's inspiring.
Yeah, because that's why, like, sometimes, sometimes I could just miss your live, and you can attest to this yourself. I know you be like, yo, this man is pinpointing every single second. It could be 1 minute and 16 seconds. Like, damn, you found something already? You got found a question? I'm just trying to show you, like, yo, listen, I am. My intention is for you to understand that I am listening to what you're saying. And anytime I have an agreement, I'll have an agreement. Anytime I have a question, I'll pinpoint the question. At this moment, you said A, B, and C. What did you mean? I
Yes.
do that just to show you that I'm willing to do that because, A, my intent is for you to understand that you have at least one person that's going along with the replay. Because we know if we keeping it 100, we know that a lot of people ain't going to sit there through the 3 hour replay. You know what I mean? Or a two
Yeah.
hour replay. So the fact that you do it at that particular point is like, all right, well, you took that amount of time and say, hey, at the minute 27 mark, you asked that question. I didn't even know you were still in there, but I appreciate you. But it also allows you to say somebody's understanding what I'm saying.
Yes.
I always say it takes one to get to 1,000 because that's what the Bible says. I believe that that one person might come in and to say, you know what, let me share the word out. And then the word is all the way in Australia instead of just in Detroit. You see what I'm saying? It works. That's why a lot of people lean on certain things because it works for them. And when it works, you're not going to really steer away from it, especially if it's a positive outcome of it. So we got to continue to do that as well.
Young Riaz, what up, though, my UK brother? Appreciate you. Hey, shout out to DD too, man. DD Community Wall be popping. I love DD Community Wall, man. She be having some inspirational quotes, man. Shout out to DD. Hey, man, y'all go check out DD Community Wall too. Her Blue Lotus, I love their community walls, bro. Lotus, her short feed, it's just, you know, that positive energy. And bro, you don't know, like a lot of those times I'm sitting there and I'm going through the your comment and I'm you it's picking my brain, bro. That is so like humbling to me that someone took the time out to, listen, because that's why we do this, man. We trying to reach people and um, have a positive impact. There's a lot of negative stuff on here, so if people looking for that, they got it. But it's people who looking for these conversations, and I want to be here to provide it for them. So knowing that, like you said, it just take one. It take one to keep me talking, bro. If there's just one person in here, I'm gonna talk. You know, I'm gonna talk, man. I'm gonna say because that's just now. We don't know. But like you said, somebody can share it out and they can get 1 million views. You never know. Riaz can share it out and it hit somebody else, and then it hit somebody else, and then now Riaz one share, then spider webbed into uh, 2K shares or something. That's just potential. Is opportunity. So I'm just trying to say something useful, I guess, um, and beneficial to people.
And even when you do that, right? Like you got people like Didi, you got people like Riyadh. They say very little, but when they say something, it impacts you in a way to where it's like, yo, I truly appreciate that person. Like
Yeah,
Didi just say, you know what? Yo, y'all have a good day, and she'll say something. She'll post like one little comment out of the whole five, and she'll link it all together. And I'll just say, Didi, you're awesome. You do the
yes,
same. You know what I mean? And we need things like that because we ain't too big not to understand that. Hey, every little positive comment counts. Every inspiration is a necessity sometimes. And when she does that, that's why she don't like a lot of people don't get that credit. She don't get that credit. I don't think Riaz get that credit. Everybody sees something different in them, but what I see from them is life because they give life whether they understand it or not, or whether other people understand it or not. They give me life. They encourage me to do things. Riaz is he's that young fire. He's that
yeah,
fire that you know what I mean. Like in the church, if you get saved, you feel people say, "Oh, you inspired and got that fire." That's Riaz all the time. Even like he be getting himself excited and he be passionate about it. Like, yes, take your time, take a breath, but just observe. Like, yeah, I got you. All right, and then you can hear him like he's ready to jump. Riaz, take a breath. Be like, thank you, I appreciate that because I be ready to go. But sometimes his line is I be overloading myself. I'm like, yeah, you gotta pace yourself. But I understand his passion. I understand his desire and fire, and that gives me like, man, listen, if I can be that age again, I would love to be that way. But now I can be that way in my mind. I may not be able to physically do those things anymore, but the mind, you could age very slowly, and people don't understand that. So
hmm
his activities allow me to see it in a mental state to where I can have the same passion as he does in his mental and physical state. So shout out to Riaz and Didi.
Shout out to Miss T too. I appreciate you, sis. That's humbling. It truly is. And shout out to Commander, man. Hey, look, man, Commander is like the best damn mod ever. And everybody say that about their favorite person who helped them out. But I really mean that because like Commander, the way she her approach to like even dealing with people, in the chat, this scrum, she ain't ignorant. She ain't ignorant, but she ain't ignorant neither. She respectful. She mindful. She want the content to flow. You can tell she always listening because um, it's stuff that she do that I be thinking and she do. So that's just attention to detail, and she genuine. So when I say like minded and like hearted, Didi, Command, everybody in the chat, we may have similar thoughts, but the way we come together and support one another, that's the like hearted part. So I appreciate people who vibe out and rock out. and truly, genuinely support because they don't have to, bro. And I don't think people appreciate the people who support them enough, like the Riazes, like the Didis, like the Commanders, Miss T. Especially but this is a different sector. I mean, we do different things too over here, so um, it ain't about the tearing people down. That we building each other up, and y'all don't know me as a content creator, and I can. You heard what Brother Gary just said. You know how he view and look at Didi and Rhea. That's priceless to us, man, because we're here to build people up, and y'all helping build us up just by supporting, and we grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people. That's why I said on my video this evening, I was just like, yo, I don't even want to say names because I know I'm gonna miss some people. But at the end of the day, everybody has an impact on me. Everybody. Because you don't have to sit there and take that time out and say, you know what, let me hear what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Or nobody, some people just give me a chance and just, all right, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you this example. Go ahead and break that down. And I can break it down, and then it allows them to feel more comfortable. It allows them to feel at ease. And then, like you said, they now have that safe space to where they can be free about whatever they want. And that's the thing that we have to understand as a whole. That if we're trying to be better, if we're trying to pull somebody up, if we're trying to encourage them, the first thing that they're going to need is that safe space. So we are in agreement with that. And the only way they can get that is if we apply it. We apply that space for them, whether it's here, whether it's on another app, or whether it's in real life. That space is needed. But it's these same people that's doing these things that give us the strength to say, you know what, they trust me enough to do that. Every time I speak to Didi, we always, how you doing, Didi? I may not know the exact time frame that she's on the other side of the planet, but it's always, how are you doing, Gary? It just shows so much respect that's what's up. Even Riaz, I'm good, Gary. I'm always glad to hear Riaz is good because when I don't hear Riaz is good, Riaz, what's the problem? And he's like, how do you know? Because you ain't being yourself. I'm good.
Yeah.
What up? Things like that. I just want them to know that somebody's paying attention with you for you guys, to you guys, and because of that, we can see what you're not right or not. It is not to be spiteful or anything, but to show love to a person that gives love back. You do unto others as you want to do unto others to you, and you guys definitely do that.
And you know what? I don't even care if we spend the rest of the show talking about, how much we appreciate, the supporters because I'm gonna say this about Riaz, man. That boy went through some shit on here. And you know what never changed? His heart. And that's to me that's admirable. That's honorable. His consistency of who he is. He ain't make no matter what people said or did, Riaz just been Riaz. Riaz ain't change up. Riaz, man, I applaud you, young bro. That's what I always say, like, man, that Riaz is he a bad motherfucker to me, bro. Because I would have snapped. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like for no reason, man. It's some and it like watching it, sometimes I had to turn it off. And then he'd come on my live and I talk to him like, bro, you ain't gotta go through that. But he showed me something, me watching him go through his trials and tribulations on here. I mean, it showed me something. Like it is, like I said. I mean, the impact that you have, you don't know who you have the potential to impact, and that young brother definitely taught me some things, and made me appreciate my position, and made me go harder because it ain't gonna lie, there's a couple times where I was about to step in, like, hold on, bro. But he was like, he showed like, okay, yeah, I can handle it. I got myself in this. I get myself out. I'm all right. Don't worry about me. I learned my lesson. I'm gonna keep it moving, and that's what he did.
And that's crazy because we just had this conversation about doing that for male figures, and he's one of them people that don't even care about none of that. He ain't looking at it in that aspect, and it ain't. You know what I mean? He don't even view it like that. You know what I mean? You can say, yo, like that's one person that you can say, yo, I love you, and it ain't like there can't be no backlash to it. You ain't gotta say, you know, pause or none of that stuff. Because at the end of the day, he's gonna receive that just as how you said it to him.
Right.
Dee Dee's the same way. She's gonna receive it exactly how you gave it to her. Miss T is that way too on the low, and Keymarsh is like that too. That's why I can
Mosh,
always I can always feel comfortable with those people. I can always, I can be dead tired, and Keymarsh would just give you that energy. She just got that energy to it, like, hey, I'm with you, and I'd be like, yo, she's dope. Miss
man,
T, she's dope. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all of y'all. I know we off topic. My bad, but
no,
I,
you,
I'm just on that's I'm still on celebratory mode. Like I said in my thing, the greatest gift that I can receive is the fact that you guys are helping me and I'm helping y'all. That was my present yesterday. So I know I ain't supposed to be doing that. This word live and all of that.
man,
But I'm gonna
rock
shout
out,
y'all.
bro, rock out.
Period.
Period. Hey, let me tell
Period.
y'all, I wouldn't even, man. Keymosh came on my panel earlier. I'm gonna find that video. I don't think I deleted that because that was at the beginning. She came up here and was like, "You ain't going nowhere. You about to sit up here. You gonna keep talking. I don't care if it's just me in here. When you go talk." I'm like, "Oh yes, ma'am." Like she came up here and was like, "You ain't allowed to stop talking. Just keep doing it." So what? Eventually, people will hear you. Eventually, she came up here and gave me a looking, bro, and I just sat there and took it like, yes, ma'am. I understand. I will keep going. Don't worry about it. That was just a couple times where I'm like, man, I'm straight. I don't want to do this no more. But that was a definite. I was like, man, I ain't doing it. And it was at the beginning. It was like, man, everybody want the beef shit. I ain't about to do all that. I'm out of here, bro. I'm straight. And she like, no, you ain't. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I don't even know who this is. And she told me, like, we didn't even really know each other like that. That's the crazy thing, bro. She just came up here and gave me a lick, and I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna keep talking. I gotta
And
find that
that's
video, man.
and that's the thing, right? It always, like I just said, it takes one person. She was that one, right? You know, D, she be that one. Miss T be that one. Commander's been that one. I
Oh
just think
yeah.
she go to HR too much, but she's one of those people too. You know what I mean? It's just the people, like the vibe, the energy, and everybody's not even here today. But the
Right,
vibe and the energy that get the juices flowing for you to say, you know what, I'm really here for them. I'm really here because one of them may need me. I'm not gonna abandon my post. I'm gonna
right.
stand the line. You understand what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
why for me, all of my lives mean something. This is not just content because I understand it's for somebody. If it ain't for somebody, it's definitely for me. Because I'm one of them people. I could point it out, but I know three fingers are pointed back at me, and so that's why I'm gonna continue to do this thing. I know I'm new as far as you know, baby, what behind the ear type of scenario on YouTube, but I can't allow that to discourage me. I can't allow the fact that people want to become trolls and people want to, say negative things about somebody. I can't allow that to stop the flow. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that somebody needs me, and that's what keeps me going. The fact that I can help somebody, that's the encouraging thing for me. So shout out to y'all because y'all make that happen. Y'all make it possible. Each and every one of y'all here, whoever's who be on my chats and lives, y'all make that possible. It ain't just somebody just speaking to speak. It's the fact that it's resonating with somebody. That's why we keep going.
Culture, we appreciate you, bro. Y'all definitely go check out Culture too. He be having some good dialogue, good conversations over there. Definitely check out my brother Gary. Always get lit over there. We gonna keep doing it, man. We gonna keep doing it. This was kind of thrown together. I'm gonna have a show probably not tomorrow. Well, hold on. What's tomorrow? Friday? Yeah. No, my wife got to work early. I'll come back Saturday after the fights, and my wife got to work early tomorrow. I mean, she got to work early Saturday, so I got to get up early with the chickens. Thing one and thing two. That's how they act in the morning, man, like little chickens. If y'all ain't never seen no chickens early in the morning, you ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. But that's like, man, oh man, I wish my grandma was here to explain that. Bro, I remember I went down south to we went to go visit my aunt, her sister, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, man. My grandmother woke me up, was like, "Come out here, I want you to see these chickens." And we out there looking at the chickens. She said, "You see how the chickies at? Yeah, those are animals. Stop acting like that." Cause they get up and they be wild, bro. They just be everywhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a good conversation, brother. I appreciate you, man. But
Listen, I just know somebody had to get up here with you because you was about to go somewhere. You was about to be Beyonce to the left. So I just had to make
we
sure.
we did
I
good
don't.
tonight. I
I
didn't
don't need that. You did great, and it's all because, for me. It's all because of the chat.
yeah,
I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going after this. I might doze off, but I know this is where I need realists and somebody to just do a vamp hour. Come on through.
yeah. I'm trying to catch. I'm gonna try to stay up. I think Realist, he might go at 3 tonight. I'm gonna try to stay up. I'm gonna see who up, but I've been getting my butt kicked, so I'm probably gonna pass out. As soon as I hit that bed, bro, I know I'm gonna be out. Getting old,
I
man.
That's what I'm trying to tell people. Listen, once you get over that 40 threshold, man, listen, even with that, we ain't even prepared for that because everybody say, what do they say? We go through midlife crisis. Y'all call it what y'all want. Things be happening to our bodies. We they don't even know conversation for most men. You know what I mean? So we just got to go through it. We learn on the fly. So
Man, it's like after my 40th birthday party, bro. If I get comfortable, I'm out. Well, really, like having my daughter is just one, so it was kind of I was programmed to sleep when she sleep because that's the only time I'm gonna get sleep, right? But
mhm.
now it's like as soon as I get a little comfortable, I can be laying in the bed looking at my phone. Next thing I know, I'm waking up the next day like, what the hell happened? Like, man, yeah, get comfortable. You want to lead the people with something, though, bro?
Hmm. Say it again,
I said you want to lead the people with something.
Alfred. Good
What
morning.
up, Nine? What up, Alfred? Man, I was
Oh,
thinking about you with this. My bad, Alfred.
uh,
Alfred, I was thinking about him with this conversation because he works with people, and that's another reason I put the link in the not in the description, but on the community wall. When I do lives like this, Alfred, I'm definitely gonna put the link on the community wall so you can. I figured out a way to get the link, not just in the chat because I know it don't hyperlink. So we gonna put it on the community wall. Um, but yeah, I want to link up with Alfred and we can do a more in depth conversation too because he had a background in working with people. So I think that'll be dope. But he been trying to hit the panel for a minute, but definitely, what up, Nine? Appreciate you, brother.
whenever that happens, I don't know. We don't know schedules. That's a conversation that's needed then, because I promise you, more people need that conversation than a lot of the other conversations that we're talking about. Because starting from the bottom, you gotta pull yourself up, and that's one of the ways to pull yourself up is through these type of conversations. Whether we talk about depression, anxiety, or whatever the mental health situation, it is a necessity to have that conversation because you don't know who you talking to, you don't know who you reaching, and because of that, we have to do what we have to do, especially when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we gotta do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta do.
Antisocial,
Hey,
um,
Anti, good morning.
antisocials in the building. What up, sir? Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so those, like I said, those things are dope. Whether, like I said, we are all here to help one another, and if that's what we gotta, you know, I know word hates this term, but if I have to meet you where you are, hey, I have to figure a way to be comfortable where I'm meeting you at. You know what I'm saying? And just like you gonna have to feel comfortable to meet me where I'm at.
I'm gonna
It's
say
all
this,
about a
G.
comfort zone.
I'm gonna say this, G. I appreciate you, brother, because guess what? They can meet up to you, and you can bring them to me.
Whatever. Well,
you you meet them where
I,
they at, and then you bring them to me.
listen. I ain't got no problem with that. Sometimes you gotta get. Sometimes you gotta get in the pig pen with the pigs. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I ain't calling nobody sloppy or nothing, but I'm saying you gotta pull them up. What they say, a pearl coming from the swine. You don't know what type of jewel is underneath all of that slop. So you gotta,
I-
you know what I mean? No disrespect to anybody. I'm not saying. I'm just using an analogy. From the worst of the worst, you can find a rare jewel. You
Malcolm,
just gotta get out there and get it. And a
Malcolm,
lot of us are rare jewels.
and then we just waiting. Hey, I'm gonna be the guy, reeling you back in. I'm gonna lower you down and get them, and then I'm gonna be because
Uh,
I can't see,
all
so
right,
I can't go down there no more. I might get
all right,
lost.
we understand that. We just know what you do with the mother. Never mind. I ain't gonna open that. Nope. Sign off. Nope. Sign off. I'm sorry, Commander. I ain't mean it. I ain't mean it. I promise you.
We
But
gonna
yeah,
push him already. You feel me, Commander? Hey, Commander, we gonna send Gary out and let Gary bring him to us. we go. Come on, bring him back to the sanctuary, Gary. You go get him. I can't see
yeah,
either, so I
I ain't
can't.
got no
I
problem
can't
with
go in
that.
the dark.
But every prodigal son that comes home on the realness is because you belong there,
Yeah.
and the fact that that could be seen in each and every one of you guys in the chat is always a plus for me. So I ain't giving up. I don't care what nobody say. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. I'm here to help or whatever. However you want to look at it. That's all I got. All I got is my word. Not well, the word is the word, but I got my word. You know what I'm saying? I got him too, but I got my word. So y'all just understand that, and we always could be met somewhere.
Oh, that's a fact, though, bro. Yeah, it's just um, that's why it's good to have a tribe and a community of people because everybody good at different things. Everybody um, is efficient at doing different things too. So um, that was a joke when I was saying you bring them to me, but uh, you can reach people. You have the capability to reach people in a different way than I do. I can reach people. You can reach people. So that's just that's the benefit of having multiple people. So that's why I appreciate you, bro. Because I'd probably be willing to do things you not willing, and you will be willing to do things I'm not willing. So we still covered all bases. The more people you get, the more bases you can cover. Um,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can cover more space with more hands than just having your own too. You can catch more. So it's not a trap, everybody. Not for me anyway. I'm not listening to Commander. I'm not listening to her. I am not listening to Commander. That's why she going to HR. Listen, that's why she stay going to HR. This is why. She just a stone cold nut. What what would you have without Commander though?
Man,
That's just
bro. Yo, bro. Hey, man, you don't understand, bro. I appreciate Commander so much.
no, of
Wait,
course.
I can't wait till we gonna blow up, you know. Yeah, I just feel like this. What we doing over here is not just me, but collectively. Oh, shout out to African Dreaming. Shout out to Bias, our 33 sister. Who else over there? April Pieces. And Big Rooster, man. They doing that crawfish kickoff. I seen them community post today. What they doing is something special and unique. And ARD, I don't know if you hiding in the reading commander. No, she gonna get me in trouble. She gonna make me say something. But
Don't. I'm glad
yeah,
y'all joking about it because I ain't got nothing to do with that. Go ahead.
I wanna support what they doing over there because I think that's dope. How they been an example, they doing something on here and they took it off of here. They getting people together and having a good time, and that's what life is about. They building the community. The community they got over there is dope. I appreciate it is because is inspiring as an example of what we can have over here. And just working with them, networking with them. You know what I'm saying? Being part of their community, they come over here being part of our community. So that's dope, and that's what I want to show. Unity. Like you don't have to be a nine to be a nine. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nine is an idea. This us working in unison, building something positive. So if you like it or not, if you're doing positive shit, you're a nine. That's just how it is. You don't have to claim it, but that's just what it is. That's what we represent. So watching other people, other communities build what we trying to build, is no competition. Those are communities that we can network with and we can build with. That's how I look at it. The only person I'm trying to compete with is myself. So um, that's dope what they doing. And one day we'll be there. We can do that. Get together and do something like that.
All I want to be is an inspiration. I just want people to understand that you can be anything is possible. Anything is really possible. Whatever you can set your mind to it, you can achieve it. And if you can achieve it, you definitely would receive it. So like I said, y'all keep striving for whatever it is y'all striving for. As long as it's the right thing and it's not hindering nobody or harming, I'm with you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you Jane or John Doe. If you doing the right thing, you got my support. And you ain't gotta be like Trump. I got you. You can have a felony, I'm with you. I'm serious. Because if that man can run for president after all these felonies, I don't even do politics. But if I know that for sure. If they allow him to do that, just imagine what we can do in our little circle. That was the point I
Man,
was trying. We can all
definitely.
make it possible. We all we have to do is continue to work. Do the work. You do your best. God will make God will do the rest. And God is inside
Mm.
of each and every one of us. I tell you this all the time. If what they say, the faith the size of mustard seed. Well, that's what God gave us in our we got God DNA in us. I ain't the word, but y'all know he says that on the low, but we got that. And if we got that, just imagine what we can do if we just put all those little dots and things like that in order. So if we cross every T and dot every I, we could be just as powerful in our own rights. So whether we coming from we've overcoming depression, anxiety, or any mental health, once we overcome that, we can be great, everybody. I promise you that. That's my final word.
My final word is this. I did a show about a week ago called "Give a Little Grace," man. And when it comes to mental health, understand like it doesn't evade anyone. So before we start judging people, just give a little grace, man. We don't know who going through what, when they going through it, or how they going through it. But just know people are going through. Life is life, and just know that. Just like our individual lives, we got trials and tribulations. Other people do too. So let's give a little grace, man. I think that goes a long way. That can take us a long way. Um, Grace to me is expressing compassion and empathy. So, start expressing that compassion and empathy. Liz B, what up, sis? What up, Liz B? Appreciate you. But yeah, let me get out of here before we be on here talking about midgets. But I had to say it, bro. But man, y'all know what I always say: care about how you feel. These the conversations to build nations. And if we say anything to resonate with you, do me a favor, hit that share button, tell somebody to tell somebody, help us spread the word. But until next time, we out.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on this scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the